Hello everyone, welcome to another video by Android Geeks. In this video, we will be learning more about Android basics. Specifically, we will be looking into activities in an Android application and learn more about the life cycle of an activity. So, in the previous episode, we saw how to change some properties of an Android application and saw different files where it is stored. I strongly recommend you going back and watching the video if you haven't. I'll add a link to the video in the description of this video. So let's look at the manifest again. So if you look here, there is an application tag and an activity tag. So this application tag will be holding all the components that are related to the activity. Here in this case, there is only one activity. It's called the main activity. So let's go to the main activity. You can control click or you can use like command B in Max. So let's close the project explorer. So and close all the other files. So this is the main activity class. If you look at this class, you can see the name of the class is main activity and it's extending the app combat activity from the Android framework. You can see that the app combat activity is important here. So the next question is, so what is an activity? An activity, I'll say, is the most basic component of an Android application because an activity can provide a screen that can be shown to a user and can accept interactions from the user. So there are other ways also where we can provide a screen using like fragments and views, but the importance of activity is that these fragments and views can be shown only if there is an activity. So as I said before, activity is the most basic component of an Android application, and it basically holds a screen that can be shown to the user and the user can interact with it. So let's look at what are there in the activity class. So as I said before, the main activity is extending the app combat activity. It is overriding a method called onCreate. So how activity works is when you're extending an combat activity or an activity from the Android framework, and when a screen or an activity is shown to the user, it goes through a certain functions known as lifecycle of an activity. Let's look at some of the functions in the life cycle of an activity. So let's look at the life cycle of an activity. Here you can see the life cycle diagram for an activity and a fragment. Let's focus on activity right now. So if you look at the diagram, you can see this is when the activity starts, and once the activity starts, the function onCreate is called immediately. After that, onStart is called and onResume is called, at which point the application is or the activity is visible to the user and the activity is running and the user is interacting with it. Then let's say we are going out of the activity. Let's say we press the back button. The life cycle is going to happen in the reverse order, like on pause, on stop, and on destroy, and then the activity shutdown. So if you see look from here, from activity start to activity shutdown, this is the entire life cycle of an activity. So it starts from on create, on start, on resume, then the activity is visible, then on pause, on stop, and on destroy. So if you come and look here, you can see a more general view of a life cycle. So everything from here till here is the created life cycle. From here till here. So everything from here till here is the started life cycle, or when the app is in foreground, and everything from here till here is the resumed life cycle, or whenever the application is visible to the user. So these are the basic life cycle callbacks of an activity. So there are other callbacks also, like on save instance and on restore instance. So these callbacks are used to save the state of the activity in case the activity gets killed by the Android system itself. So these are the basic callbacks for an activity. So let's see how it can be captured in code. So as you can see here, onCreate is already been written for us, which means And if you look at the code, it says on create set content view r.layout.activity main, which means this is telling the activity to set this layout as the UI for the screen. Then let's write the next lifecycle callback, which is on start. Let's print it out. log.t uh, log.t. So when doing a log, we have to give a tag and a message. First, let's give the message as on start, and let's give the tag. Let's define a tag here. Private static. So this will get the name of the class and set it as a tag, which is as similar as setting main activity. So let's keep it like this for simplicity. So let's keep the tag as tag, and so this will print out on start. We will see that in shortly. So the next lifecycle event will be on resume. See, put log t. That's a shortcut for. So this is a shortcut that automatically writes the log for the function. So once resume is done, which means the app is in foreground, app is visible. So let's type that also. Let's type it here. Let's type here. Activity is coming on foreground. Then let's write on pause. Let's write for on create also. So let's run this and see how the life cycle goes through. Select this virtual device, use same selection. So the application has started running. So let's see what is logged in the logcat. So let's go here and open logcat, and here you can see a bunch of logs. So let's filter it by our tag. So copy this tag and put it here. Okay, so here you can see that when the activity was created, it went through on create, on start. When the activity is coming to foreground, on resume, the activity is visible. So right now the activity is visible and it has entered the on resume state. So now let's press the home button and see what happens. So once we press the home button, you can see it went through on pause first, and then it went to on pause, on stop, and it went the application and the activity has went to background. So here, as you can see, on destroy was not called because the app is not destroyed, it is still in the background. So if you open the application again, the activity again goes through on start and on resume. Here you can see that on create was not called because activity was already created and there is no need to create it again. So let's press the back, let's go to home again and see. Again on pause, on stop. Let's clear the log and let's bring the application back. Here on start, on resume. So let's press the back button and see what happens. Okay, here you can see one as we press the back button, it went through on pause, on stop, and then on destroy, which means the activity and the application is destroyed. So as you can see, the on destroy and on create will be called only once in the life cycle of an activity, but on pause, on start, and on resume can be called like multiple times as they come and go from visibility and foreground. So that's it about the life cycle of an activity in a basic level. So let's close the emulator. Okay, that's it for this video. In this video, we have learned more about activities and how to use them in an Android application. In the next video, we will be looking into fragments, how to use them inside an activity, and about the life cycle of a fragment and how the life cycle of a fragment and activity interacts. Once again, thanks a lot for watching the video, and if you think that this video is helpful to you, please press the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Also, please consider clicking the bell icon because I'll be releasing new videos every week and you will get notified when I release a new video. Also, if you think that this video will be helpful to someone else, please feel free to share it in Facebook, Twitter, or any other social media. Thank you. See you next week.